So just moments ago, President Trump left the White House. He did not say that they have secured the votes in the Senate this morning for his sweeping domestic policy bill. He did say he thinks they will get there, but added, "I don't like cuts. Don't go crazy with the cuts." Now, the president did lash back at Elon Musk after Musk threatened to challenge any Republican who votes for the bill. The president said maybe Musk needs to be kind of investigated by DOGE. And a new attack from President Trump on the Fed chair, this time with a highly publicized, handwritten note. I'm John Berman with Kate Baldwin and Sarah Seidner. This is CNN News Central.
Breaking news this morning. Just a short time ago, President Trump departing for Florida and saying when it comes to Medicaid, he does not like cuts, and he warned Republicans not to go crazy with them, while at the same time demanding they pass a bill that makes major cuts to the health care program. Senators are still in the throes of trying to pass the sweeping bill, which they have been trying to do all night. The legislation would extend the 2017 Trump tax cuts, spend billions on defense and border security, and as we mentioned, also cut some social safety net programs. A live look at the Senate floor for you now, where lawmakers this morning have cast their 45th vote in a row on Trump's mega bill. That's a new record for this type of session. Republicans are pressuring holdouts in their party who are worried about the cuts the bill would make to Medicaid. Nearly 12 million people could be pushed from those Medicaid rolls, and there are also concerns about the cost. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates this would add more than $3 trillion to the national debt. The price tag led Elon Musk, the president's one-time ally, to launch a new attack on the bill. He called it insane and is now threatening to primary any lawmaker who votes for it. The president responded to Musk earlier.
He's upset that he's losing his EV mandate, and he's very upset about things, but he could lose a lot more than that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Elon can lose a lot more than that. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put DOGE on Elon. You know what DOGE is? DOGE is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
All right, with us now is Congressman Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey, a Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, how do you think you slept compared to your colleagues in the Senate?
I mean, I got a lot more hours of sleep than they did. What a mess. I mean, unbelievable. What you're seeing here, John, right, is a bill. They're dying to try to get it across the finish line, but there's just a realization of this. Not only is it a mess for the Senate, but it's a disaster for the public, right? And for families and children and seniors, and they're trying to find their way out of it. But when you've got the reality that it's going to cut health insurance for 12 million Americans and take food away from children, both in school meals and SNAP, the largest cut in food assistance in American history, I think there's a realization among all of them that this thing is a disaster. And you look at the polling on it, and it's even worse than they want.
The president, as he was leaving the White House a short time ago, says he hates to see cuts, not to go crazy with cuts. What do you say to that?
Well, then they should start over and come up with a new bill. I mean, this thing is just a giveaway. They've got tax breaks for oil and gas and coal. At the same time, they're taking health care away, and it's going to force nursing homes to shut down, health care away from children and families, millions of people. And the big thing that and you just mentioned this before, but not enough people are talking about, it adds a massive amount to our national debt. You're talking $3.3 trillion. So they kept walking around saying they're the party of fiscal responsibility, and they're just going to blow a huge hole in the deficit and make the debts go up and make the debt go up significantly. That's going to be a huge problem when the bill goes over to the House, because this is not the deal that the speaker had cut with many of the Republicans, especially with the Freedom Caucus over in the House.
Well, one person who is talking about that quite a bit is Elon Musk overnight, who is now threatening to finance primary challengers to any member of Congress who vote for the bill. The president responded to Elon Musk again as he was leaving the White House and threatened to basically sick DOGE on Elon Musk. He called, DOGE the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. And to that, Elon Musk tweeted just a few minutes ago, so tempting to escalate this, so tempting, but I will refrain from for now. What do you think about that?
I mean, the love affair is officially over. I think Elon Musk is looking at this as part of the bill, of course, says massive cuts to wind, solar, and electric vehicles, which obviously would hit Musk hard. But it also, he knows the reality that we need more energy, not less energy. And what this bill is going to do is gut the ability to actually produce more energy in the United States, especially with things like AI growing and the demand of energy increasing. We need more energy opportunity. And also, it as you probably know, it taxes energy production. So you're looking at in New Jersey, where I live, about $100 a year increase in energy prices for people if this bill goes through, because suddenly all of the wind, solar, electric vehicles, all this alternative energy will disappear. And that's a disaster for our country.
You mentioned the tri-state area. I want to ask you something about what's happening in another one of those three states. That would be New York, specifically New York City, where Zohran Mamdani looks like he will be the Democratic nominee for mayor here. Sitting where you sit, through the tunnel, across a few bridges, how would you feel looking across the Hudson with a New York City with Zohran Mamdani as mayor?
Listen, I'm completely confused by how people go ahead with a lot of the ideas that he's put forth, and if you saw this weekend when he was asked to condemn globalize the Intifada, right, and he refused, which is a call for a wave of terror. It was a call for a wave of terror against Jewish people around the world, and he refused to condemn that language. And as far as I'm concerned, somebody who refuses to condemn hate speech is not acceptable, and I'm looking for him to clarify that, as well as his other socialist policies. So, there's got to be a lot of clarification before I start to warm up to the idea of him being mayor.
He says it's not the language that he would use when he was pressed on that by Kristen Welker on NBC. What do you think it says about the Democratic Party?
But he refused to condemn it. But why wouldn't he just outright condemn the language? Why would you not condemn anti-Semitic language? You saw it happen in Washington, Boulder, Colorado, and the surge of hate around the country. Why would you not condemn hate speech? And that's not something that should be confusing, by the way, against anybody, whether you're talking about against Muslims, against African Americans, against anybody. You should right away not hesitate and condemn hate speech. And so I don't understand where any confusion is there, and I'm expecting him, I hope, to clarify his position. But listen, I believe the Democratic Party needs to move in the direction of common sense and reasonableness, of affordability, and I think that's where we should be going, and have zero patience for any kind of hate speech.
Congressman Josh Gottheimer from New Jersey, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much. Kate?
Very soon, President Trump is expected to arrive in Florida and headed to the Florida Everglades. He's there to visit the state's newest migrant detention facility there that's been dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. The president is going to be attending there for a photo op, the opening of the 5,000-bed facility that's now set on a small airstrip in the Everglades, which is why it's become the latest battleground in the president's immigration crackdown. CNN's Isabel Rosales is in Florida with the very latest, and the president will be landing there soon. What else are you learning about this?
Kate, in the span of a week and 1 day, workers have transformed the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport from an 11,000-foot runway into this temporary tent city that they've dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Now, this location here in the Everglades is just under 50 miles west of Trump's resort in Miami. I want to give you a bird's eye view of what this looks like right now from our CNN affiliate WSVN. You can see these aerial pictures showing these repurposed FEMA trailers, these heavy duty tents that when completed are expected, according to Governor Ron DeSantis' administration, to hold over 5,000 detainees awaiting deportation. Now, the governor says that this is very much needed, this so-called Alligator Alcatraz, to deal with all of the influx of migrants from immigration crackdowns that are overburdening the jail systems. He also says that not much security is needed thanks to the pythons and gators that are surrounding this facility. Here's President Trump just moments ago what he had to say about security.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%, okay? Not a good thing.
Yeah, and this is, of course, drawing major backlash from all sorts of groups, including immigrant rights advocates who say that this is cruel and inhumane. Take a listen.
When we talk, about people as if they were vermin, the location, the manner in which was done, and the language, right, the dehumanizing language employed by the authorities here, there's nothing about this facility, about this detention camp that is not cruel and inhumane. The fact that we're going to have 3,000 people detained in tents in the Everglades in the middle of the hot Florida summer during hurricane season, right? I mean, this is a bad idea all around that needs to be opposed and stopped.